All right, so AMG has been on an absolute tear of spoiling everything that's coming out for the rest of the year. In this video, we are going to talk about the Prowler Miles 2 and 2099 box and kind of how it's going to impact Web Warriors, and we're going to go from there. So, first up, let's talk about Prowler. As we knew before we got these spoilers, he is both CS and Spider Foes, so keep that in mind as we go through them. He's a 4 threat with 6 health on both sides. He is a 4/4/3. He's a long mover. His builder is a range 2 5 dice pierce suppressive. Oddly, this suppressive is before damage is dealt. I'm pretty sure every other suppressive is after damage is dealt. What is it on Gladiator? Yeah, Gladiator, it's after. That's weird. I don't care for the timing changing there while it's still the same named thing. That sucks. He has covert armament. Okay, so like this attack, very standard builder for a 4 threat, like really on curve. 5 die range to pierce is Blades builder. Now it's mystic instead of physical, so it has some other benefits, but also some other downsides. His gun is a range 4, 4 dice energy attack that is a gainer, so you get 1 power, and then you can't mod during it, so it always ignores cover, and then it also ignores like spider rerolls. I think this is really fun for a character that's a spider foe. His spender, nothing personal, just business, is a range 3, 8 dice, 4 cost that always has a medium advance on it, and then it has a wild throw of size 3 or less, and it throws short. This is a really good spender. We've seen stuff like this. This is like very reminiscent of like a big Zemo attack where like it comes with the medium advance. Actually, Zemo's like a bad example of it. It's kind of Black Bolt-ish. It's kind of like new Black Bolt's spender. He's got it. He is a charge character, which long move charge. We've all played Zemo. We all know how good that is. He has You're Right, I Can Do Better, which is when this character attacks during the modified dice step. You pay 2 to use the superpower. This character can reroll all of its attack dice, including skulls. So it's not like Master Swordsman. It is instead more like Doctor Strange's Eye of Agamotto, but you have to pay power to use it. We've seen Doctor Strange get a lot of value out of this, but it's free on Doctor Strange. And this is also attack only. I think it's largely not going to be used. It's hard to know because like the character seems like he's going to have a lot of power because the only two dumps for it are charge, this, and the spender. And then he also has a mechanic to get more power, which is the first time he interacts with an objective each turn, he gets the power back, which is really cool for him because it means that he is going to have charge online turn 2 almost always. So you have a long charger that's going to pick up an objective and be able to long charge someone on turn 2. Really fantastic. I love that. Overall, and he does not change on his backside. Oh, he's stealth wall crawler as well, and stealth is a big deal. The character is like kind of soft for a 4 threat, being really just like def 4 and 6 health being the thing that protects him. And the reason for that is he has stealth. So the character is like totally normal durability, probably above the curve for a stealth character. I like him overall. Charge and CS and foes are very welcome. They're not things they have a ton of. Foes have it essentially not at all. They get things more like hit and run. And then what the charge CS model is what Killmonger 1. And this guy is much more durable than Killmonger 1. I'm pretty sure Killmonger still does more damage. I also think you'll use this character to kind of like dive back points against pillow-fisted teams. So like into Web Warriors, I could see CS or a CS list that's really either leader, or I guess there's 3 leaders, but the 2 that are played, either Kingpin or Shadowlands, diving a back point with this guy, and then just hoping that stealth and def 4 keep him alive, and then being able to like charge to max 3, spender, move medium, move long again out, and just like be clearly out with the objective while moving the opponents farther away and doing work and not just like throwing away a first activation to try to keep a 4th threat alive. And I think that's going to be I think it's kind of like the big thing with him is that like he goes in, he gets the extract, and he gets out, which is cool. Cool character design. Next we have Ultimate Spider-Man. This is a Miles Morales character, so right off the bat, this character kind of has to be crazy because Miles Morales is one of the best 3 threats ever printed and is a leader of a very popular faction and has the better leadership in that faction, which means this character has to fight against all of those things. So 443, he's 6 health on the front, 5 health on the back. He's a 4 threat, long mover, size 2, stealth wall crawler. His builder's a range 3, 5 dice with a wild give slow and pull and push off. It pulls towards size 3 or less. So it's a 5 dice builder with wild displacement, and it also gives slow. An important fact here that was brought up to me after I wrote my initial thoughts and kind of said that I thought this character was insane, that has dialed me back a bit, is that the way this is worded, the defender gains the slow condition. Then, if the character is 3 or less, means that this is like the same as like the Bucky push wording. So like if Bucky, it's like Bucky spender is push a character and then shoot the gun at them. But if he can't push the character, like the character's too big or whatever, he doesn't get the gunshots. Here, if the character already has slow, then you don't push the character. It like really comports with how Strucker's leadership is worded, where, you know, if Strucker can't heal if he gives you a condition you already have with his leadership. So it fits with our basic understanding, or that ruling, or not ruling, we don't have a ruling, it's an unreleased character. But that theory of how this ability works comports with other rulings in the past. So if we use precedent, that's how I expect it to function. And this changes a lot of things for Spider-Man, because his spender is only range 2, just like old Venom Blast, which means on all webbed up turn, when you web everybody and you're trying to punch them, he can't displace because they're already slow. So worth keeping in mind. He has a range 4 gun. Stun web after the attack is resolved. You get a power, so it's a gainer. And if you deal damage, they take stun. It's decent. I don't know how often you're going to use this because the character is so mobile. I think the main use for this is that you're stuck on 1 power and don't have web swing. And so you can shoot the gun at somebody within 4 and then web swing and do a swinging strike. Mastered Venom Blast is a range 2, 8 dice, 4 cost spender. Before damage is dealt, give shock and stun. Stun before damage is one of the most powerful effects on spenders. We've seen it on Mystique. We've seen it a couple other places. Stun before damage is really strong because stun says you can only get 1 power. And most things that stun people are huge dice attacks, which give the opponent a ton of power and then stuns them, and they don't care about stun because they have a ton of power. This you can put into a character, you can kill the character and give them 1 power. Incredibly powerful. Its wild trigger, Electric Arc. After the attack is resolved, choose a number of other enemy characters within 3 of the defender that are equal to or less than the number of wilds in the attack roll. The chosen character suffers 2 damage. This is a better version of Thor 2's wild effect. Thor 2 has this, granted, on his builder, and it does 1 damage. And that character had to be nerfed into the dirt because it was so strong. And part of why it was strong was it had this mechanic of killing a character by like 2-punching it, and then across that hitting a bunch of wilds and dealing a bunch of like low points to characters around it, and then having a counterattack mechanic. This character has a counterattack mechanic we haven't gotten to yet. I'm very, very worried about the play pattern of this character and how strong it could be on the meta. Now, it being on a spender gives a little bit more protection here because he's not going to be Master Venom blasting every single turn of the game. Probably only a couple times a game. So, and then it also means that he's not guaranteed to have power to do his counterattack. Okay, so he has Web Swing, same thing that Miles 1 has, same thing that Peter Parker 2 has, Amazing Spider-Man, where you pay 2 power, you move 3, you add 2 dice to your next basic builder attack, once per turn. His reactive is, you did you, now I'm going to do my thing. This is like the Daredevil counterattack on the front side of Daredevil. After attack against this character is resolved, use the superpower, you walk short toward the character. Then if you're within 2, the character makes a swinging strike attack targeting it. So an important thing here is that the swinging strike is range 3, but you can only make the counterattack if you're within 2, which is weird and unintuitive to me, but that is a thing that you have to keep in mind, and you can only counterattack once per turn. He has Ultimate Spider Sense, which is you can reroll skulls on your defense and dodge rolls, so naturally has rerolls. So if you stick him in the Zemo bubble, he can reroll his skulls. And then he rerolls 2 of his defense or dodge dice. So it's nice that he naturally unlocks his skulls because he can't ever be played in the leadership that unlocks all, Miles' skulls because that's on Miles. And the other important thing here is he's not weak to Mystic anymore. Like he literally is because he has 1 less die, but he doesn't lose his spider senses to Mystic attacks anymore. So that's great. And then only 5 health on the back. Guys, I'm a little bit worried about this character. So Miles is like my favorite Marvel character straight up. I love the Spider-Verse movies. I'm a big fan of Miles Morales. I think he is just a more interesting version of Spider-Man than Peter Parker is. I kind of hate this character, and it has nothing to do with him not being cool. I think this character is absurdly strong. I'm very worried that Miles Morales 1 is dead, and that one of the best 3s in the game is not going to see play because he shares an alter ego with the best 4 in the game. Which is like, I'm overblowing it a little bit. Shang-Chi's still better than this guy. But he is hot on his heels. I think this character is very strong. I think being able to do a 7, do a 5, maybe pull people off of points, maybe give them slows, and then when he gets to his spender, being able to, on 6 power, or actually probably is on pretty low power, on like 6 power or less, you can potentially web swing, do your 7-die builder, hopefully get enough to a Master Venom Blast, and then Master Venom Blast someone, and then splash 1 or 2 targets with 2 damage. And then that character, and kill the character you're targeting, and then have the character that wasn't attacked but took 2 damage be like a 3 threat, like a Zemo or something. And like his obvious play is to go try to kill Spider-Man, but is at risk of being counterattacked and dying. So I'm a little bit worried about that. I'm worried. He seems very, very strong. I've played 2 games with him, and that has caused me to cool on him, because when this was first spoiled, I was like, the sky's falling. I think webs are the strongest thing in the game, and I think this is like one of the best pieces that they have. I'm a little bit worried. Art's awesome as always by Patrick Brown. But yeah, I'm a little bit worried about where spiders are, and this is part of the thing that I'm concerned about. I think this character's really, really good. I guess the other cool thing about this character is he unlocks a new like build type for Web Warriors. Web Warriors now have 3 in-faction characters that counterattack. So you could play like Ultimate Spider-Man, Daredevil 1, Venom, and just have every single model be able to clap back. That seems like a fun thing to do. So maybe do that. All right, continuing along. We have Spider-Man 2099. We've seen this character before. He didn't change that much from front to back. He just loses a health, so he's 7 on the front, 6 on the back. Other than that, he didn't change. Overall, I think this character is good. I think there's going to be a very tight roster for Web Warriors, and I'm not 100% convinced that he makes it, but the character does seem very good. Like, Web Whip is a hell of a superpower. His builder is really good for like giving him access to power. Like the guy is very power hungry because he has to buy his rerolls. But acceleration decoy, when he buys his rerolls, is any number of dice, including skulls, and he places 2, making him one of the hardest characters to get an extract off in the entire game. And he's a 13 health healing factor character with wall crawler. And then he should be able to afford acceleration decoy a bunch because his builder has pierce, as well as a way to heal himself too. So you can healing factor and heal himself off the spider talons. He has the organic web shot, which is like his impact webbing kind of thing, except it's a pursuit gun. And he has, so like if he's outside of 2 and outside of 3, he can shoot the gun and try to pursuit in and get his other stuff going. And then if he rolls crits, he also gets power, just like Amazing Spider-Man. So the character should be pretty flush, in theory. The spender is good, but not incredible. It is nice that webs can now throw size 4s, so that's cool. He's also can just like have a lot of mobility when he's very flush on power. He has like acceleration decoy to move himself too. He has web whoop, which pushes us someone and then he places within 1, and then his spender throws someone and places him within 1. And important thing on the spender is that the place is after the throw, so you will be wherever you throw the character to. You can't like mix and match. I think the character's good. Let's get to the tactics cards. All right, let's start with Web of the Spider-Verse. So Web of the Spider-Verse is the new leadership that Web Warriors are playing. After deployment, an allied Web Warrior character plays the card. When the card is played, set it near the battlefield instead of discarding it. While your squad does not have an active leadership ability, allied Web Warriors gain the Into the Spider-Verse superpower. So you can't have a leadership. There is a little bit of uncertainty within the community about whether you can play models with a leadership and then just not declare it and use this card. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. Like, I'm 98% confident you can play characters with leaderships and play this card, because the leadership's not active. You just don't declare it to be active, and you play this card, and you're like, okay, everybody's into the Spider-Verse. So it gives allied Web Warriors into the Spider-Verse. When this character attacks, defends, or dodges, after the effect is resolved, if the roll contained 1 or more skull results, this character may place itself within 1 of its current position. Which seems kind of cool initially. Like, it's a fun, like, mechanic that kind of represents the, like, glitching we saw in the Spider-Verse movies, right? You attack them, they kind of stutter, and they're over there somewhere. This superpower is unbelievably strong. I don't think you ever play any other Web Warriors leadership. Like, maybe you play ASM leadership on rare occasion, but as far as a pure value leadership, I think this is so absurdly strong. And it's basically on a couple of things. So let's talk about, so first and foremost, I can't believe it's not once per turn. So you can do this on every attack that you make that you roll a skull. And every time you are attacked, and you can roll a skull. So if you're shot by rapid fire, shoot him with rapid fire, I block it, roll a skull, block it, roll a skull. I get to hop 2 after he's done shooting me, well outside of rapid fire or whatever, right? But they printed a couple Web Warriors with AoE and beam attacks now. And like the most insane one is Silk with this, where like Silk shoots a beam and it hits 3 people and can potentially place herself 3 times and just like be clear on the other side of the earth when spraying with this. The other thing that it does is it adds mobility to a bunch of the Web Warriors in like kind of unintuitive ways. Okay, so like Spider-Man Noir. Spider-Man Noir had like his weakness is he has no mobility. His only mobility access is when he makes an attack. He has hit wild elusive, where he gets to walk short. And like hit wild elusive on 4 dice is like, like 30%. But rolling a single skull on 4 dice is 40%. And if you only need one or the other to get back on the point, this can be incredibly helpful. And then when they both hit, like when he double taps, and he's like, he does his 4 dice and then does his 6 die, or 4 dice and then he does his 7 die. Hitting both is crazy. Like, you go so far. I just, like, you have to see it on the table. It's just so great. Okay, so another example of, like, this being, having wild synergy is, like, Gwen, right? Gwen, one of the best web warriors ever printed. Gwen's builder says, if this character has been placed or advanced this turn, you get a long move, which means that she can, so she, like, impact webbings you, hits the skull, bumps into 2 of you, and then can builder you for 7 and a long move away. And you're like, okay, well, that seems like good and fair. Yeah, but hang on. If she does a builder into you and then a second builder into you and hits the skull on the 7 die, she can place first, and then the other trigger checks, and she's already placed this turn, and then she can take her long move. So she gets 2 rolls to go for it. On, like, my first game ever with her playing this leadership, I, like, walk long directly towards the point that has 2 opponents on it. I impact webbing 1, and I roll Wild Skull, which is, like, not that likely to hit both faces, but I did. And that meant that I pushed the character off, I placed myself 1 onto the point, and then I paid 2 power to webline the other character off. And Gwen just won a 2-on-1 on a secure where she walked and had 1 power at the start of it, right? It's crazy how strong this is. And it's so fun to play. Like, you will, I promise you, you will take activations where you will do so many, you will make so many micro decisions that you will in no way have taken the correct line, but the line you took was correct enough to win you the game. Right? Like, what was it? I was playing Nate the other day to try out Web Warriors and this leadership. And I did a silk spender and attacked a bunch of people. I moved a bunch of times because I think I attacked 3 times and rolled 2 skulls, like they're 9 dicers on the spender. So I got to place 1 twice. And then I moved 3 characters, and I could pay for her tricks and traps 3 times and move 3 shorts. And then I could then beam. And I beamed, and I rolled 2 skulls, and I moved short 2 more times. It also lets you do, like, crazy things where, like, she shot Shang-Chi while within 3, but the beam had hit somebody else first, and she got to hop out of martial artist and shoot him with a range 3 attack, and he didn't get to count blanks because she wasn't currently in range of him. It's just, like, it's crazy. And it's so cool, and it's so strong, and I think the internet's going to take a hot minute to figure out how cool and strong this is, but I think this is the best leadership. The downside that might make it not is it does not affect splash characters. So, you know, you're splashing Wong for your turn 1 strength, or you're splashing some other goofy thing in Web Warriors. You can play this leadership, but it just doesn't affect your other models. I think that's interesting. And I know that people are kind of clamoring for, I know a lot of people really like playing purely affiliated. That's not the way that I play the game because I don't think that's the way the game is designed. And also I play a lot of factions that don't have 10 super strong characters. Like S.H.I.E.L.D. right now has 4 or 5 characters that are good in the current packet. And, like, that's just the truth of that's just the way it is right now. Is the current crisis set, most of our models aren't very good at it. So you play the ones that are, and you splash to cover your weaknesses. And I think that's how the game's designed. Web Warriors don't have that problem anymore, in my opinion. I think they're great at wide crisis. I think they're great at narrow crisis. I think this leadership is insane. I think you can play a roster of 10 Web Warriors and wish you could put 2 more Web Warriors into your roster. This is crazy. I love this leadership. I am going to hate this leadership eventually. But I love it right now. It's really cool right now. Oh, I also think this is, like, the way I think they should do these, like, in affiliation leaderships that they decide going forward. Like, there's 2 other leaderships in the game that don't function correctly. Like, the Black Order Corvus leadership only affects Black Order models for some reason, And the same thing with the Weapon X leadership. It only affects in-faction models. And I think that's dumb. But here, for it being like, first of all, it's not called a leadership. And second, Web Warriors have such a diverse set of models that are all kind of trying to do the same thing that I think this works here. I don't know why I'm okay with this and I'm not okay with the other leaderships. But also it's just so strong, man. It's so strong. Okay, moving forward. Brief reprieve. So Web Warriors only, active. Ultimate Spider-Man and any number of other allied characters may spend 1 power each to play this card. Each character that played this card can remove a special condition or a damage. Then each character that played this card that has an activated token gets a power. So it refunds itself if you're already activated. If you're not activated, it just helps you get to your activation. The way I read this card is that Ultimate Spider-Man has to play it. So if Ultimate Spider-Man has no damage on him, I believe he can still play this card, even if he has no damage and no condition on him. We probably have to wait for a ruling on that, but that's what I think. And so he plays the card. So that means if Ultimate Spider-Man is dazed, you can't heal anyone else with this card because he can't play it. But overall, it seems like if you have Miles 2 in your like squad, this seems just better than Wheat Cakes. Like, so Wheat Cakes is probably straight up better in the mirror because it pulls slow and heals one, and like character Miles doesn't have to play it if he doesn't need to play it. But this can pull any condition, which means it can pull stagger. And this being able to pull stagger is incredibly strong. There's like very little condition management in the game, and giving this much condition management to this team seems crazy strong. Like, this card seems so good. It's not going to be an every game card, and I think it helps a ton into the Web Warriors Apocalypse matchup, because Apocalypse is a huge problem for them. They like really struggle to kill Apocalypse specifically. And then Pestilence like wrecks them because they're a faction that needs to use multiple superpowers like every activation and struggles to get access to power. They have to fight for like every scrap of power they can get. And then they want to dump it immediately. And being rooted just is so hard on them. They have small dice pools, so shock is a larger percentage of their dice when it hits them. So like the main conditions that he has, and then also like, because their defensive strategy is largely based on rerolls, Incinerate hits them harder than usual. So just like Apocalypse has them from so many different angles with his condition game, and this is going to help out a ton. It's not going to solve the matchup because it's a once per game effect, and he's constantly putting those out on you. But I think it's going to be really, really helpful in solving that matchup. Spider-Man, which has a picture of Hobgoblin on it for some reason. During Miles or Peter Parker's activation, they may each spend 2 power to play this card. The active character chooses another allied character, Miles or Peter Parker, within 3. So it's one of them plays it, and then the other one has to be within 3. You place the one that's not activating within 2 of the one that is activating. And then the character that played the card gets to make a free attack. It's kind of wild that I don't think this card's going to see play, but even though it's a free actionless attack, and I think that you play Miles and Peter a lot, but my God, the 10 cards that you're going to be playing, much less the 5, is so unbelievably tight at the moment. The new characters all synergize with Masked Menace really, really well, and if you have Silk on the table, I think you really will really want to play Masked Menace because of how crazy she goes with that card. And also, like, Web Warriors struggle for power, and it's a power solution. So it's like, okay, you play the new leadership card, you play one of your restricted, let's say you play Brace, and you're playing all webbed up. You have 2 card slots left, and assuming that you're not playing your second restricted, like, does this get in there over Brief Reprieve and Masked Menace and Spider Tracker and Cat in the Spider. Uh, it seems tough, man. Card's good though. Like 4 power for a free attack and some movement shenanigans. Now, will Miles and Peter be able to be near each other? And also, this is probably better on the bigger versions of these characters. Like, I don't think you super want to play this with Spectacular Peter Parker because Spectacular's power economy is super tight. But then again, you've got Mass Menace, so maybe you're fine. I don't know. I don't know if it'll hit the 5 or the 10, but the card does seem good. I think it's like one of the best cards I've seen that I don't think we'll see play. All right, High Tech Heist. This is Prowler's card. It has 2 different reactive modes, and it's unaffiliated, so you can play it with Prowler no matter where he is. During Prowler's activation, when he rolls dice while interacting with a secure objective, he can spend 1 to play this card. He may change any number of dice in the dice roll to any result. It is unclear to me if you play this before or after you roll the dice. I think you play it after because it's while interacting, and I'm interacting from the moment I pay power to the moment I am done rolling dice and applying the result. So I don't know where you play this, whether you get to see the results. If you get to see the results of this card, this is an incredible effect. Like, you can miss your thing. It can be like, oh, he has 2 characters on this Empress, and I have to hit it to not lose the game, and you get to toss a tactics card at it and just do that. Seems really good. Its other mode is mission objective, or the reactive half of mission objective. When another character within 2 of an allied Prowler would drop an asset or civilian token, Prowler can spend 1 power to play this card. Place 1 asset or civilian token that would be dropped by that character on Prowler. Prowler's not holding the character. This card doesn't let Prowler play or hold more tokens than the crisis specifies. Mission objective, an incredibly powerful and incredibly strong card, especially in crisis-focused factions, one of which CS is. Is this card going to be strong enough to make you want to splash Prowler? Like, maybe. Some of the new crises, like, if you're a team that can reliably get up on extracts, being up on extracts and then having Prowler protection in the bank so they, like, kill your, like, you're all standing in a bubble. Like, let's say it was, like double bubble, like what I'm playing right now, loves to go up on extracts and force you into it. And if I was, like, holding all my extracts and you have to come into it, and knowing that the first one you kill, I just play High Tech Heist and it's on Prowler now, could feel really bad. On the other hand, it's kind of anti-synergistic with Prowler's, like, free turn 1 pickup, where he pays 1 power and gets the power back when he picks up, which means he's probably holding an objective. There's only, like, 2 objectives that currently let you hold more than 1 of them, which is hammers and cubes. Oh, no, and legacy. Okay, so there's 3. So there's 3. So if you're on one of those, it's a really good Legacy Virus card. We've all seen how crazy Legacy Virus was when it was first released, and it was 8 points, and you could play Toad and Mission Objective and really just, like, funnel objectives to one person. But I think the card will see some play where Prowler will see play. The card's good. Great Power. This is a 2099 unaffiliated card. When an allied Spider-Man 2099 declares an attack action during his activation, he can spend 1 to 2 power and may suffer up to 2 damage to play this card. Reduce the power cost of the attack by the amount of damage suffered. Add dice to the attack roll for each power spent to play this card. So at maximum, you can take 2 damage and pay 2 power and make the card essentially free because you're just paying for the spender at that point. And then get 2 extra dice. If we look at his, right, it can only be used, reduce the cost of the attack. Yeah, so he can use this on normal builders. So you're looking at either paying 2 power to make an 8-die Spider Talons, and you could stack that with all webbed up to make it a 10-die Spider Talons, and or to do a 20.99 regards to make it 10 dice or 12 dice if you have all webbed up, and make this like bigger. It's a cool damage increase card that also can make your spender more accessible, except that 20.99's spender I don't think needs to be accessed that badly, but he's also a healing factor character with a builder that can heal him, so it can be kind of a free roll. I think the cost of the card is really the problem, or the not the cost of the card, the card slot, right? I'm not sure 20.99 is going to see play outside of Web Warriors, and I don't know how you ever fit this in a Web Warriors 5. The card's good, but like it's not crazy strong like the other Web Warriors cards are. All right, so that's everything they spoiled here. I don't want to be an alarmist, but I kind of think Web Warriors are the best thing in the game. Unless there is like a secret stealth like banning of all webbed up coming that would like really hinder the faction's strength. These releases are all rock stars. Like the least exciting ones are Ham and Noir, but I also think they're like secretly two of the strongest. This seems crazy, man. This seems so strong. I cannot get over this leadership, how strong it is. I've played it twice. It's as strong as I think it is. I don't think you play Miles 1's leadership or ASM's leadership essentially ever. Maybe on wide crises where you know you have to punch them and like getting the extra slows matters more than making your guys more mobile. But my God, this seems so strong. And like maybe I'm underrating the like cost of tactics cards. Because like it costing a tactics card slot is a significant hurt on it, especially now that like, man, I can't build a 10 for webs for TTCs. Like it just seems so insane. Like the roster that I currently am playing is this. The Spider-Woman is here. Spider-Woman and ASM are on the bubble. I know one of them is going to become Agent Venom. I want to play these two instead. I know how to play Agent Venom. I've played Agent Venom for so long. But like if we look at the tactics cards, like okay, all webbed up, locked. My two restricted, fallback and brace. Okay, perfect. That's like standard thoughts there. And now I am playing Brief Reprieve, Mass Menace, Spider Tracker, Web of the Spider-Verse, the new leadership, Sleuth, Survival, The Cat and the Spider. I'm not playing Spider-Man. Maybe Spider-Man should come in over Survival, but I feel like there's a matchup where I'm going to want Survival. Maybe I don't play Fallback, but like Fallback seems wild with the leadership where you can like get punched, roll a skull, live, play Fallback to move short away, bump one away, and be out of range 3 of characters that were in base contact with you. Like, excuse me? I don't know. Like this is almost certainly not the 10 you're going to play in terms of team tactics cards. I don't think I've solved it. But my God, there's going to be so many different iterations of like what's in, what's out. Yeah, I don't know. Let me know how you guys go with this. Like, am I crazy? Is this as strong as I think it is? Let me know in the comments down below. And, you know, when you're playing Web Warriors and you're crushing your opponents, and they're all sad because they can't touch any of the objectives and they can't kill any of your characters, just remind them that fun is a finite resource.